Hey there, and welcome to today's episode on how to sell on Amazon. We're going to be talking about the wholesale method, what that means, and whether that's a way that you should start getting selling on Amazon. I hope you enjoy today's episode. So, wholesaling on Amazon. This means that you're selling branded products that you're getting from manufacturers or distributors, and these are already listed and selling on Amazon. So we've already talked about private label, which means you're taking a product from start to finish. We've talked about drop shipping and retail arbitrage and the work that goes into that. Lastly, considering wholesaling, often this is considered one of the easiest methods because of the things that you can do that get you started right away. But let's talk about the ups and downs so you know this is right for you. So why wholesaling? Well, the reality is it's very easy to get started with little money because you're just buying a couple of products to get started if that's all you can afford. If you can afford more, great, but you can really test this method and start making some profit without a lot of money to go into it. What I really like about wholesaling is you have the ultimate flexibility of products. You can start and stop and start selling a product at any time that you want. And you can get them from so many different resources that will go over how you do that. And the fact is, these are products that are already selling on Amazon. So you don't have to create the product, you don't have to create the branding, you don't have to create the listing, you don't have to take pictures, any of that. It's all done. And you know that they're already selling because Amazon has that data public, and we'll show you how to find it. Another thing is Amazon takes care of all the fulfillment. So as opposed to something like drop shipping, where you're having to fulfill an order through a third party and make sure it gets shipped on time, you're sending all of this pre-branded product into Amazon, and they're taking care of all of the orders for you so that you don't have to think about it. Once it's at Amazon, they are going to handle getting it to the customer without any more thought on your part. What I also like about this is it's very easy to scale. Once you've found a winner, because you don't have to be keeping track of where each product's getting shipped to or shipped from, you can just continue to replenish inventory and add products as you go as quickly as you can. Now, another thing is you can get product lists that are delivered directly to your inbox every single day instead of having to go find them yourself. Let me show you an example of what this means. Okay, so here is an email that I just got from a company called BTC Distribution. They are a vendor of a lot of products, but today they sent me a video game list. Okay, here's another one, Lemar Pet. This is a pet product distributor, and they send me a downloadable inventory sheet every single day. Now, I don't go through it every day, but they send it automatically so that I don't have to go searching for products. They're sitting right there in my inbox. Now, why not wholesaling? Well, let's cover a few things that you will have to kind of wade through at the beginning to make this successful. First off, not all distributors will accept an email application. So, for instance, this Lemar Pet here, you could sign up for an account with them just online. You just fill it out, and they'll contact you with your info with your information for your account, your logins, and you can do it all online. You don't have to talk to anybody or anything like that. Not all distributors are like that. A lot of them want to have a conversation with you because they want to see how long you've been in business, what other products you sell, who your competition is, where you sell your final product. So the best way to avoid that at the beginning is just to look for ones that allow you to sign up through an email. Next hurdle each vendor is going to use some different type of system of how they organize their products. And so it sometimes takes a little bit of learning to know which one's which. And let me show you an example, okay? So we were in this Lemar Pet, okay? Well, this is the email they send me with a spreadsheet every morning, okay? Bunch of numbers, prices, and so on, but no names of any of the products. It can be a little bit confusing, okay? But then we look at our spreadsheet from BTC, and it's got a UPC, this one's the video game one, the names of all the video games, the costs, and how much they have in inventory available right on the spreadsheet. So you have to get used to looking at different spreadsheets. You also can go online and look through products just by clicking on them and looking through the brands, especially if they have all their inventory listed. Looking here for clearance ones that are already marked down is a great way to see if you can sell them on Amazon. But it can be a little bit confusing to start. Now, this is also a decision that you need to make. Whether you're going to wade through all of these spreadsheets or you're going to invest in some type of software that will automatically look at the numbers for you, okay? So, for instance, this inventory, it gives us UPCs. I'll scroll up to the top. You can see the UPC here. Any product that's branded and listed on Amazon will have a UPC, and you can search just by that UPC number. It gives us our price, gives us the quantity available, and so on. But you have to check each one of these individually, which can be a little time consuming. Now it's worth it because once you find a product that is selling and does have a profit margin, you can just keep ordering it over and over again. You don't have to keep going through these same ones. Or you can invest in some software that will automatically check things like how many you're selling, how many sellers there are, what the current price is on Amazon, and it'll crunch that faster. So if you're starting with no money and you just want to get started, take the time to go through the spreadsheets because that helps you learn anyway. As you get a little bit successful with this, invest in some software so that you can do it on an even faster basis. Now, this one isn't really a detriment, it's just kind of about who you are. So, when I say number cruncher versus creative director, when you are creating a private label brand, you're doing the whole thing. You're picking the product, the logo, the colors, the manufacturer, what your pictures look like, what your listing says, and everything. And some people really like that process. I love that process. But with wholesaling, you are often just crunching numbers all day long. That's what you do. You look at prices, you look at profit margins, you look at how many people are selling and if you're competing against them. So you're just doing math all day long. And some people, that bores them, even if they're making money at it. So you have to decide if that's right for you. But let's say you want to give this a shot. How would you start? Okay. Well, like most things on Amazon, you have to start by creating an account. Well, that's super easy. Amazon will walk you through how to do that. And I just recommend it at the start doing an individual seller account simply because there's no monthly fee that goes along with it. Now, how do we start looking for products? Well, I'll show you an example. What we're going to do to search for people that we're going to buy from is to search some type of term here with either the word wholesaler, supplier, vendor, distributor, or something after that so that we can find it and find their contact information, find their website. But what do we put here? Well, let me show you an example. Okay, so we're on the Amazon best sellers page. Okay, it ranks all the categories and their top sellers. And unfortunately, I closed this page and opened it back up, and I can't remember exactly where I found it, but I was in one of these categories and I saw the brand Garmin had a couple of good selling products. So I thought, maybe I'll see if I can find somebody that distributes Garmin products and then I can sell them on Amazon. So I typed into Google Garmin wholesale account. Okay. And right after the ad and after Garmin's actual page, I found this one called Petra.com. Okay, now you open that up and it tells you that they're an authorized Garmin wholesaler. So they would have uh, a lot, if not all, of Garmin's products available that you can buy at a wholesale price. But this is what I found interesting. Okay, I clicked under this tab under Our Brands and clicked on All Brands. And this one distributor, look at all these brands that they carry. Hundreds of brands and probably hundreds of thousands of product. And I just found this morning. I didn't even know this one existed. So up here, let me find it again. You can see Garmin, okay? But if you just go through and take a look at them really quickly, you find a lot of household names that you would probably even be familiar with. So these aren't weird random brands. Like, look here, Champion. That's a household brand. Most everybody's heard of Champion, the clothing that they make and everything. Craftsman. There's another one. Kenwood, huge company. DeWalt. So you could sign up for this one distributor and have access to all these products. Now, I haven't gone through signing up for them yet, but that's how easily you can find a distributor. Now, keep in mind, and this is just a word of caution when you are going to search for them on Google. Wholesalers, manufacturers, distributors, they're really good at what they do. They're good at keeping their inventory in stock, what they order, their pricing, getting them sent out and everything. But they're not website builders. They're not SEO, which search engine optimization. So they don't really know how to get their site seen on Google very well. So this is probably the only time in your life that you will get permission to search deep into web pages. You might search the first 8, 10, 12, 15 pages of Google if you're looking for wholesale accounts. And maybe you're not being this specific, but you're typing in something like pet supplies, okay? Because they're not really concerned with how well their website ranks, you might find a really good distributor on page 15. And so that's just some of the legwork that you have to do to find distributors. But it can really pay off, okay? Now, once you've started finding some of these vendors, you can compile a list of them. You can compile a list of those that you can apply to immediately, that you need to email them and send some information, or some of them will tell you you have to call them. Well, let's say you're not ready to call them. Then compile a list of ones that you can call later and just start doing the ones that you can apply for online immediately. Sign up for those accounts. Whoops. And then we're going to start the research phase, okay? So they're either going to send you a spreadsheet like I showed you earlier, or you're going to be able to search them and their products on their website, okay? Categories or whatever. And then once we start getting those spreadsheets and we want to start checking out products, then we want to go over to Amazon to find out whether something is worth selling, because not everything that they're going to send you in a spreadsheet is going to be worth selling on Amazon. So the first thing I want you to do is go download this free Chrome plugin called DS Amazon Quick View. Looks something like this, okay? And the only reason I want you to download that is because it gives you a lot of information about a listing really quickly without having to click on it and open it up and scroll through the page, okay? Then we're going to want to compare our products to make sure that the pricing is right and there's a profit margin, and that it's selling enough to make sure that there is volume for us to make it worth it. So let's give an example, okay? So this is our video game list. I already checked the first true, and there wasn't enough profit margin with them to even make it worth it. So I clicked on this UPC. Remember, everything on Amazon will have a UPC. You can copy this and I pasted it into Amazon, and not that one, this one came up. Okay, this is a video game based on Adventure Time. Okay, we can see the price right there is $31.71, and there's only 2 sellers that are selling it right now, and it is ranked about 12,000 in video games right now, the BSR. So the first thing we want to go do is find out, is it selling enough to make sure it's worth our time? So remember our free calculator, estimated sales per month, junglescout.com/estimator. Okay, so remember our BSR was about 12,000, a little bit less. We're selling in the United States, and we're selling in the video games category. Now we calculate it, and it sells about 30 a month. Okay, so about 1 a day. Okay, so 1 a day, so 30 in a month. 30 in a month divided by this seller, and us would be 10 each, or 3 sellers at 10 each. Now, if this person does let it go out of stock and doesn't have more show up, then it'll be split between you and the other seller, so about 15 sales a month. Okay, so 10, 15 sales a month, one every other day or every third day. Okay, now we want to check, is there any money to be made? So this is the price that it's selling at right now, $31.71. So we go to our fulfillment by Amazon calculator. Okay, just type that in. I already pasted in the ASIN, which is this number right here. After the DP, it always starts with a B, and then there's a little string of numbers. So that right there, and it brought it up. Now here's the fulfillment price. This is what Amazon charges to sell on their platform. It's generally 15 to 20% depending on what category it is. It's a little bit higher in the Amazon video games. And then this is their fee to ship it out from their warehouse. So that means from a sale of $31.71, Amazon is going to pay you $22.64. Well, let's look back at what we could buy it for. We could buy it for $20.70. So there's only about a $2 difference. There is profit, but not much. So maybe we'd skip it. Maybe it's just one that we want to test out because, we already can tell that it's selling. There's a little bit of profit margin. You could probably buy just 2 or 3 of them. Look, they've got 60 in the warehouse right now, and that'd be fine, just to see how the process works. It's probably not something you're going to do long term because your money's better spent on something that's making more than $2 profit, but it is an opportunity for you to test. Now let me show you one page that I skipped and why I skipped it, okay? And this is also why you would use the DS Amazon Quick View, okay? So I was looking through this parts list, and you see up here, it's got a couple different categories. They're telling you if there's anything in these boxes, whether you're allowed to sell on them or not. So we're in the Amazon column here, and that's what we're going to look at. And as we scroll down and down and down and down, we came to this UPC that says, no, you're not allowed to sell this on Amazon for whatever reason. So I copied that UPC and I pasted it into Amazon, and this is the product that they came up with. Okay, for whatever reason, this Coastal Pet Products doesn't want other people selling on Amazon. Well, how do we know whether it would have been worth it or not anyway? This little box right here is the DS Amazon Quick View. Now look at the BSR, our bestseller rank, 941,000. Now you might have to go over here and put in 941,000, okay, when you're brand new to see whether that's selling or not. Remember, it was in pet supplies, but I can tell you it's not selling at all. It probably hasn't sold a single unit in months. So it wouldn't be worth it for us to even buy one and try and sell it anyway. So that's just a little heads up of how you can quickly look at the BSR and know, and you'll get better at that. You know, if something's selling 5,000 in a category or 10,000, I've been looking at those numbers for 5, 6 years now, and it gets easier to know about how many are selling based on just looking at that number and not having to put it in a calculator. So what we want to do is once we start to find a few products, and I recommend at the beginning, just find a couple. Find two or three from that are all from the same vendor, so you can box them all together and send them into Amazon. Even if you're only going to break even, let's just test it out, see how it works. So you'll buy those products and you'll list them on Amazon, which is simple, really simple. All you would do, I'll show you with this other one, is right here. You can either do it in your Amazon back office, or you can literally go to the listing and click on this sell on Amazon button. Now I don't have one of these, so I'm not going to do it, but you can just, it'll ask you, do you have one? What do you want to sell it for? And is it new or is it used? Things like that. It's about 5 clicks, and just like that, it's up for sale on Amazon. And then all you have to do is send it in to Amazon's warehouse. And that's super simple walkthrough as well. Okay. Then the one thing that you should track is what products are selling well and which ones are not. So let's say we thought that one was going to sell every day or every other day. And so we buy 2 or 3 of them, but it takes an entire month to sell just 2 copies. Well, maybe it's not selling as fast as we'd hoped, so we'd get rid of that one. Or maybe it sells 2 of them the first day and we realize we could bring in more, especially if there's a good profit margin. And then it's just a simple matter of buying the ones that you consider winners and moving on from those that you consider losers. There's not any emotion involved. You just buy the ones that sell and don't buy the ones that don't sell. Now, there is one thing you can do as time goes along, and we talked about it before, and that's investing in software that can speed this product research and comparison up. So instead of looking at a spreadsheet, it'll plug all those numbers in and say, it'll pull back all of the BSRs, so you could, wipe out any of the ones. Let's say it's over 100,000. Just say, I want to ignore all those. It'll delete them all from your spreadsheet. And then you delete all the ones that, are only selling for a certain price, so there's not enough profit margin. And it'll leave you with a much smaller list to go in and manually check than that full spreadsheet. Now, maybe you don't want to invest in software right away, but that's definitely something you should consider. And if you want to start quickly, if you want to make a real business and you want to go for it more than just a hobby or a little bit of a side gig, invest in software from the start, because it can massively speed up this process. So now, who should be doing this method? Well, if you're really low on startup capital, it doesn't cost anything to sign up for a vendor. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up for the Amazon product. You don't have to build a list. You don't have to build pictures or take pictures or pay somebody to take pictures. You don't have to buy your inventory up front in large quantities like you do with private label. So you could get started for $100 even or less if you just wanted to buy a couple of products and test it out. You might not make a lot of profit margin, but you can get started that way. Okay. This is also really good for somebody that wants to see the process without a lot of risk. So these products are already branded. You can look at the reviews so you know whether people like them or not. You can look at the BSR so you know whether they're selling or not. So there's a lot more surety in buying a product this way, knowing that Amazon already tells you that it's selling well. This is also for somebody that doesn't have a lot of time to do something like drop shipping where you have to do a lot of tracking and order fulfillment and stuff because you literally, once you know a product is selling, you just buy it and send it into Amazon and you're done. So that is a person that would really want to look into this. And then my last disclaimer I would say is anyone and everyone should be able to do this model. Now, I started with private label and I still love it to this day. I still do it to this day. But I also started adding wholesaling when I realized the value of not having to build a product out all by myself. Now, sure, there's not as much of a profit margin on a wholesale product as there is on a private label product, but there's way less work. I can literally download that spreadsheet, put it in my software, and it spits me out potential winners that I can look at in 5 to 10 minutes. If they're good, I buy them, ship them into Amazon, and I'm done. And once I find a really good product and a good vendor that has multiple products that are selling well continually, all I have to do is place a reorder. I don't even have to keep on going in and researching it. I just need to know that it's already selling. That's why I think this model for probably 2020 and beyond, and especially people getting started, is really, really beneficial for them. There's reasons to go into the other ones, and especially if you have some entrepreneurial experience, especially building brands or with products and things. Building a private label brand is absolutely a great way to go, but most people should start with the wholesaling model. Again, it's totally up to you. Tomorrow, we're going to look at each model again, now that we know each one, and we're going to look at what it costs to start, what's involved to do the model, and who that would be best applicable for. Then you can decide which one of those categories you fit in so you can be more aware and more sure about which decision to start on Amazon. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to shooting that video because I think it's exciting for all of us to learn where we're at and how we can get started. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a good day.